Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to do Lab 13. Lab 13 has two parts. Part one on authorization and security, and the second one on timer. In the first lab, what we are going to do, we are going to create users and groups on the server, Glassfish server. And in our application, we are going to use roles and then map the roles to groups. To start with, let's create two users and two groups in the Glassfish server. So you have to start NetBeans, then go to services and start the. So this is my NetBean. I will go to services. I will go to servers. If Glassfish server has not started, you can start the server by right-clicking on the Glassfish server and click start. It will take a few seconds and the Glassfish server will start. So while the server starts, what we are going to do, we are going to go to the server admin console and go to server configuration, then security, realm, file, and so on. So the server is still starting. Okay, it's okay now. So right-click on the Glassfish server and view domain admin console. It will open the admin console in a web browser. Here, if I want to create users and groups, you can see configuration near the bottom. So we'll go to the server configuration. There are many things in the server configuration. We are going to go to security. If you click on security, later we'll go back to it. Now we'll go to realm. And you can see there are three types of realms that can be used. File realm, admin realm, and certificates. Realms are the set of, which is a database of users, simply speaking. So if I want to save all the users and groups in a file, database file on my computer, we'll use file. If you want, there is admin realm and there is certificate realm, which is the most useful, because when we have e-commerce, you cannot, when you have clients who register online and so on, for security communication, you have to use public and private key certificate encryption between both ends, and using certificates and for identification. For the time being, we will use the file realm. Once you click on the file realm, we can, here at the top, we see manage users. If you want to create a new user, I click on new. What is the name? I will call it user one. In which group? I will write level one. So I'll create user one with level one. So we can put many users in one group, and later we can assign role to groups, and we can map them directly. If I may call the group just same as the role. So create user one, group level one. I will use the same user one as password, and I will repeat user one just for testing. Once finished, I'll click OK. Then I have user one with level one. I will create another user, call it user two. User two, in which group? I will put it in level two group. If the group doesn't exist, it will create a new group for you and put them there. So the password, I will use the same as the username, user ID. So I'll call it same. So now I have the two users, user one in group level one, user two in level two. Once done, I can go back, save, and we are done with this. Now it is better to restart the server for the users to uh, so I will see restart the server. Going back to our lab, so we created the two users with two groups, different names, I don't care. Now we'll start with a new application. We will use in this application, we'll use a servlet and a session bean, enterprise Java bean. So we'll make a new web application. So I go to projects, I will say new project. I will, which type of project I want to use. I want to create a web application. I will say this is Lab 13A. Lab 13A. I will use Glassfish Server 4. That's what I have now on my computer. So next, I don't want to make a JSF application and so on. I want to create JSP pages. So I will click Finish. So I have now my application. First of all, so these are here, the index page is an HTML. I want a JSP page as index that contains this form. So I will copy this, go back, I want to pitch. I will call it index. I will call it index and click Finish. So in this one, I don't want this greeting. I will write a form that we'll use to call the servlet. I can format. So back to this one. So we added a form. and with one button, one input of type submit, which is would appear as a button. On it will be written test security login. Most important, what is the action? Action is the servlet that we are going to write soon, called test servlet. The method type is post. So the HTML file, previous one, created automatically, I don't need it, so I will delete this one. Delete, and now we have our index page, index.jsp. Next, we want to create a test servlet and an enterprise Java bean. Test servlet will be in a package called controller. Greeting bean will be in a package EJB. We will start with the greetings bean. This is a session bean. It is a stateless session bean. And in it, we have only one method. This is greeting message. I will copy this, go back to my project. I will say new. I want to create a session bean. Remember, stateful, stateless, or singleton, or are session beans. Session beans are a type of enterprise Java bean. There are other types of enterprise Java bean, like message based beans. So go to create a session bean. I will call it greetings bean. It is stateless. In which package? I will put it in EJB package. I don't need to put local. I will say finish. So you will see that now it creates a folder, package folder in source packages called EJB. Inside there is the greeting. I will add the security annotation for this bean. So here, what we want to do, we want to declare roles that use this one. I will go, this is the role, and inside I will copy the method. So this is the method. Copy, put it in there, and before formatting, let's say now declare roles. Admin, I will change capital A and capital C because it is recommended to write the roles with uppercase letters. So now declare roles, we need to import. I click here, it will say that add import for security declare roles. I will import, and this is done. Inside this bean, we may have, so I'll write format now. For this method, I will add roles allowed, and for start, I will allow only the admin to access this one. Roles allowed. Roles allowed. So at roles allowed, I am missing W. So now it will give me hint to import security roles allowed. So when we write the annotation roles allowed on a method, only this method of this bean can only be can be invoked by a user with the admin role. So this is a stateless. If I want to use any role inside my bean, I want to declare roles. So here I declared two roles, admin and customer. And then inside, if a method, I want this method to be used only by the admin, I will use roles allowed admin. So going back to this, and the bean now is completed. Let's create the test servlets. So the test servlet will put it in a package called controller, and I will go back here, go to the project, add servlet. So I will call it not new servlet, but test servlet, in which package I will specify it is in controller. Go to next, add information to deployment descriptor, okay, and done. I remove this and add the security. So this is a web servlet called named test servlet, URL pattern test servlet. This is important. And servlet security roles allowed also for this servlets are admin and customer. So I will copy, go back to this one, add this. Now it will tell me that web servlets is not recognized. Add servlet annotation. This is done. Add the other imports, and that's fine. As I said, I will call them admin with upper A and customer with C. So in this servlet, we want to use an enterprise Java bean. So we'll use the injection using the annotation EJB. I will copy this one, go back. So at the beginning of the servlet, so it will tell you EJB is not recognized this annotation. I will say add import for Java EJB. Next, I will format. Again, in this servlet, it doesn't know what is the class greetings.bean. So I will import the class. Greetings bean. Okay, so greetings here, I put it wrong. I will say rename, refactor, rename. I did a mistake. So this is greeting. Apply, rename on comments, refactor. So now the name is correct. Here it will say add class greetings bean in package controller. Yes, this is what I want to add. No. So greeting I will close this one. Greeting, I will delete, safely remove, refactor, greetings bin. So greetings bin, it is there. So now it will import ejb my package dot greetings bin. Import, this is done. So now we have this one. What we'll do in process request, I will remove all of this. I will remove all of this. All what I will do when the user click on the button and invoke this servlet, what we will do, the user will invoke the method greeting message, and if the invocation is okay, it will forward to success page. Otherwise, it will stop, and it will not allow the user, if the user doesn't have authority to use this message, it will stop and raise an exception. So going back to this one, I will say Control V. So now I will close, save, reopen it. So everything is okay now. This is the greeting, and this is the servlet. Remember, when we do injection, the container will create an instance of this session bean, and with authority annotation and with roles allowed to the method, which is greeting message, only authorized user can call this method. Otherwise, we'll see now what will happen when a user is not allowed to call. So this is the servlet, and this is the greeting. So what is next? Now I want to map the roles to groups. How to map roles to groups? Remember, I have two groups, level 1 and level 2. While in my application, I use roles, admin and customer. To map roles to groups, we add them using the Glassfish deployment file, which is Glassfish Web XML. For this one, and we want to add the role and map them to groups. So going back to this one, if you can see, I have only the web deployment file, not the server deployment file. So I'll go to the project, right click and say new, go to other, you will see here in Glassfish, you'll see Glassfish descriptor. I will add, keep default location, and now you'll see the Glassfish web XML file is there. We can see the code, or we can use the visual editor. We'll go to security. For security, I want to add security role mapping. The first one, I want to add admin. Here, if I want to add this role to users, we use add principal. Principal, like if I have a user, Marwan, if I want to add Marwan, the user Marwan, I will add principal. But now we don't want to. We want to map the role to groups. So here I will say add a group. I will write level 1. I will say okay. So here you will see that we added a role admin that is mapped to group level 1. So any user of group 1 now has the role admin. Back to this one, add security, another security role. In this case now I want to add customer. Again, I want to add it, map it to group level 2. I will say okay. So I have now both roles. Admin map to group level 1 and customer map to group level 2. Once done, I may close this one. Save, yes, save. So what is left is to add the login page and the other pages. So finish this one. Now I want to add security to the web XML. Before this one, I will create the login page and login field. So login page, it is a JSP that contains, this is the body. I will copy this one, go back to my project. I will insert a new JSP. I will call it login JSP. It's in the default folder, okay. Done. I will remove this one. Add the code from the my lab. So this is the login page. I will add another page JSP called login fields. For login field, we will write only login field with red color. So this one. So go to this one, remove, add the other one. So login field completed. I want to add a third page, which is success. If the user username and password are okay, it will go to the, it will be forwarded to success page. So new JSP page called success. Finish. In success, we will write just login successful with a green color. So I will copy this one, put it here, Control V. Now, once I created all my login page or login field, now we go to the web XML. We'll go to security. We'll specify what type of login configuration. There is basic form login, client certificate to digest. طبعا البasic والform are simple, but they are not useful because data transferred from client to server are not secure. That's why in real application, you have to use either digest or client certificates. Anyway, now we'll for simple application, form login page. Here I specify the login page. So this is my login. Then I will specify what is the login field. So this is the login field. Realm file What realm did you use? Remember, we used the file realm. And now we can close this one, save yes. Success GSP is okay. Login failed, done. Login, save. So now I completed all the files and specifying the form-based authentication with the login page and login failed page. And now we can test our application. So going here, I will press on run. So this is the input. Type submit, test security login. It will be forwarded to the login page. First, I will put user one and I will put user, wrong password. So it will write login failed because user doesn't exist. So I'll go back and type user one, the correct password of user one, and the login successful. Now, if I want to use user two with the correct user two, because we allowed, so user one, login, and this is success. So this is the first part of Lab 13. I will close this one. So this is Lab 13. Now I will create a new project, web application. I will call it Lab 13B, Lab 13B. I will use Glassfish server. I will make a GSF. I will test if it is working. So it is working. I will close this one. In Lab 13B, you want to create web application project, any project, Maven or Ant or whatever. I called it Lab 13B. You want to create a session bean, a singleton session bean called name. Again, is not important. Most important, I want to write in this singleton session bean, I want to write one method. I will call it test, but this method, I want it to be run every some time. So we use the timer and we use the annotation schedule. I will talk about it soon. So this is my application. I'll go back to Lab 13. I will say new session bean. The session bean, I want singleton session bean. Local, I don't care. On which package? I will say in Mac1, name of a package. Finish. The singleton bean is created. I will delete this one, and this is the methods. Now, first of all, override, remove override, we don't need it. Add import to AJB schedule. Add the timer, import timer. Import the date from utility. And we still have one brace. So I will say format. Now I have a singleton session bean. What does it mean, singleton? It means there is, for the whole application, there is only one instance of this class. Usually this singleton instance will be created at deployment. When the application starts, it will create an instance of this method, of this bean, and will be managed by the container. Here we annotated the method test with a schedule. So it means every some period at specified time or after some time, the container will notify this method to be executed. On this one, I will write, let's say, star, 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 star. It will print the date, the current date at the server. Here, what does it mean, 0 star star? So this test will be method will be invoked at second 0 for every minute, for every hour. When you put star, it means for every minute, for every hour. At a second 0, this method will be invoked. The timer out, timeout event will occur, and this method will execute. Now, suppose I want to call this method to show you. I will change this one so that it will be executed every, let's say, 10 seconds. So if I put star /10, it means every 10 seconds, this method will be invoked. Anything else? So this is it. Now I will run this application. I don't care about the running. I will go to the server console, and you will see that every 10 seconds, the timer will fire events, and the method is invoked, and it will print the time. This is what I put, /few stars and something. I'll forget the second. I have another timer, but this is our method invoked every 10 seconds. If I want to change it every, let's say, 20 seconds, not every 2 minutes or every 5 minutes. If I want to make this method run every 5 minutes, I will put /5. So change it to 20 seconds, and go to the and you have to wait 20 seconds, and the message will appear again. So at 20, 40, and so on. Sure, I mean, using timer, as we saw in the lecture, is very important because some tasks I want to do them at specified time or at specified interval. For example, if I want to do like produce reports at the end of the day or at the end of the week or sales reports or so, and so on. So timer is very important, but this is just an introduction. We have many ways how to use timer declaratively or programmatically. But this is just a simple use of the timer where we wrote a method, whatever name, and we annotated with a schedule. And here it will be, method will be invoked at a specified time. So when a timeout happen, the container will invoke the method of this bean, which is session bean. Why we created a singleton? Because now I want to, this singleton, once you deploy the application, an instance of this singleton will be created and managed by the container. So these are the two parts of Lab 13. Thanks.